y'all appreciate your liquor. As a guy who makes liquor, it's nice to meet people like that.
Well,
Right.
And be friends
it's
with them.
nice
That's
to
why you're the
have
first
somebody
man
that
in the
actually
whole-
put effort into something and produce something that's like quality.
Well, I'm glad y'all think that. for
Take
sure.
pride, you know.
We do take pride in it, and
Which
we
is awesome.
work hard, man.
Hell yeah. So we are here at Bayou Terrebonne Distilleries for Between the Barrels. This week we got Noah Lirette. Chad, tell us what we're doing here.
So this is going to be our new weekly show. We're going to have some movers and shakers in Terrebonne Parish. We're going to sit them down between the barrels and give them a couple questions, Q&A, and see what happens.
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough. Mr. Noah Lirette contacted us. We've become good friends with him over the year. I'm sorry, and contacted us and kind of wanted us to come and hang out with him. And this is going to actually be our new Spilt Liquor production studio
right here.
So
It's
we
a
have
new
moved
spot.
out of Norm's living room, and we've actually
We
moved
appreciate
into
all the sacrifices, Norm and family, but
Yeah.
now
Thank you,
we're on
Ms. Morgan.
to bigger and
Appreciate
better
it.
things thanks to Mr. Noah here.
Right. So every week we are downtown Houma at Bayou Terrebonne Distillers. Noah, appreciate you having us and appreciate you being on the pilot episode of Between the Barrels.
Guys, I'm thankful that y'all are here and y'all are doing what y'all are doing, because this is what Houma needs. We need a show. We need some entertainment that's local, that you can get on demand, and you get to learn a little bit about the people in this parish that do so much for this parish.
Right. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's a good platform for everybody to
This
come
would be
on
great.
and just kind of talk about why we love Terrebonne Parish and why we're here and
Where we're going.
And where you want to see it be in the future.
Absolutely,
You know,
for
we
sure.
got a pretty good lineup already scheduled for it. So we're excited about it. Noah's excited. Norm's back there excited. It's going to be a good time, man. Between the barrels is going to be where it's at.
And the whole time we will be sipping on some good spirits.
So right. Speaking of that,
we
why don't
got-
you tell everybody, what are you drinking, Mr.
So
Manny?
I got a little contraband in my cup. This is what we're gonna be when I drink when I come to Bayou Terrebonne Distillers. My
Right.
favorite new whiskey, a little corn whiskey, made by Noah himself. I have in my cup a Manny Fresh. It's kind of named after me, so I kind of drink it. every time I
Please
go
tell
in
them,
there.
Manny, please tell them how this drink came to be, and how it came to be on the board.
So,
On the board.
well, I come here often, and I usually get one of your great drinks that you have back there.
Thank you, sir.
And I was trying to make it at the house. And I'll be honest, every time I made it at the house, like Amos Moses, it was terrible. I don't know if I used the wrong tea. I don't know
Like
what's
too
going
much
on.
contraband is
Like
what I would
maybe
guess.
too much
It's
contraband.
probably-
I don't know.
too much
I just can't
contraband,
make
getting
it like
crazy
you can.
drunk.
So I wanted to make my own drink. And I fish offshore a lot. And when we go offshore fish, especially on a charter or whatever, we get back to the dock, we gotta have us a boat drink, something refreshing. Been out in the sun all day long. There's a charter captain out of Cocodrie named Padna. He would have a Padna special off the SS Padna, and that's what we would drink. And I kind of mimicked it after that, cool little boat drink.
Yeah.
And I made it with contraband.
A sweet corn whiskey, boy.
Yeah, sweet corn whiskey, mango cranberry, cran mango, and lemonade, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
You ever been hot?
Yeah, if
This
you're
refreshing.
hot, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what
Best
better?
drink in the E class on E.
Yeah, I mean, what better?
Fresh.
What more Louisiana? If anybody has been here to Bayou Terrebonne Distillers, you know that all our drinks are named after South Louisiana things.
Yeah,
What's
which I
more
like.
South Louisiana than Manny Fresh?
Exactly.
It was
So
meant to be.
That's
I
it.
presented that to Mr. Noah, and he was like, "Man, that sounds like a good drink." And he tried it, and he liked it, and we put it on the
I ain't
board.
gonna lie, old Manny right here made us a lot of money with that Manny Fresh. The next
It's the
week,
newest, hottest thing in
it's all
Terrebonne.
good. It's all good. Come
With
by, have a Manny Fresh to see what it's all about.
Right. Come on,
on
have
by
one.
and have your little-
On Manny, too. He got a tab over here. Y'all tell him that
Put it
that's
on
what
Manny.
Manny's. Put on Manny's
And-
tab.
And it's easy to make at home when you go and buy your whiskey. So that's one thing I want to ask you. I can buy this where? Other than buying it here.
So you can buy it directly from the distillery whenever you want. You just gotta give us a call, swing on by. But you can also get it at Rouse's, Canadas, Marcel's. If you're heading down to Dularge, you get it at Tommy's Stop and Go.
Perfect.
A couple other little places. Right now we're working on distribution throughout the state.
Cool.
So all our buddies in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette,
Grand
be,
Isle.
be on the lookout, guys. We'll be there soon. You go see what the contraband's all about. We're happy to get it out.
It's awesome. It's very good. It's impressive, man, that you make this thing right here in Terrebonne Parish, dude. So tell us why whiskey and why downtown Houma.
Yeah. So why was that important too?
Right. So a little bit of history of Bayou Terrebonne Distillers is that it's ran by me and my two cousins. We share a great grandma, Nick and Rodney.
Big Grizz.
Big Grizz.
Shout out
Big
to Nick and Big Grizz.
Yeah. So our great grandma, Lily Lirette, was a moonshiner.
Okay.
She was also Houma's first Mardi Gras queen.
Yep.
All right, so she's a queen and an outlaw.
Nice.
And her still that she used way back then always sat up in my parents' house, Rodney's daddy, and just as a conversation piece.
And the still is still here.
And the still has a new home at the distillery.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we always just looked at it and talked about it, and we hear stories about how her moonshine was so good that the revenue was left her alone.
Yeah.
And we thought that was pretty cool, And then I ain't gonna lie, I started dabbling and making a little whiskey, selling it, boot liquor style.
business.
How old were you at that point, Noah? You were like a teenager?
I was
You were like
22.
out of high school?
I was in college, LSU, and make a little.
So you started
moonshine.
messing around with that still?
Yes,
Nice.
that's where we all learned how to. That's where we cut our teeth on, was that little 5-gallon cup.
So basically, like YouTube how-to videos and just kind of
a
taught
great-
yourself a little trial and error thing.
That's all it was. So I had to get the blessing from my parent to take the still, and
Right.
he said, "Yeah, you take it. Just clean it up." So I just Googled how to make moonshine, and we're off to the races. We did that for 10 years.
Really?
Then we transferred. We went from just making moonshine to making whiskey. We'd age whiskey, and then all our family and friends loved it. When we started placing it. My parent would start placing it in different bars. So he can go there and ask for his special stuff.
Wow, that's
Make
cool.
them feel nice.
And I do want to point that out too. It's like a little common misconception. This is not moonshine. This is actually.
This isn't what your typical stereotype of moonshine would be.
Right. So we call it moonshine in honor of our great grandma's illicit operation.
Right.
That's why it's called contraband too. But moonshine can be anything that's made illegally. That's what moonshine is. Moonshine isn't a type of liquor.
Correct.
So when you talk about moonshine, it was made by the light of the moon so it wouldn't get caught.
Right.
So it doesn't mean it's a cheaper grade of alcohol. That's
It
not
doesn't
what
taste
that
like
means.
apple pie.
No, it's not apple
Yeah.
pie. It could be. I mean, look.
Oh, I bet.
It
They
could
got
be.
all kind of great
You
flavors.
can make alcohol out of tree bark. I mean, it could be anything. So moonshine is a term that we use to harken back to the illegal days that we're trying to honor with our great grandma.
Honor your great grandma. That's
like,
awesome.
It's some people you talk to them, it's like, oh yeah, they're doing corn whiskey down there. You don't, like when I drink this, I don't have that taste of, that hardcore moonshine you drank when you were a kid
Yeah.
that somebody gave you behind the bleachers or something.
Appreciate you saying that.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually tastes good. It's
Yeah,
smooth.
this stuff is smooth.
Well, I'll
it's
tell
clean.
you, I'm gonna tell you why that is. It ain't rocket science. Moonshining or making it legally, whatever you want to do, is just like making a gumbo.
Really?
It's about taking your time.
I can make a gumbo.
Yeah,
Tell me.
there
I
you
can
go.
make moonshine, you tell
Yeah.
me.
The best.
I can cook
Hey, look,
gumbo.
Low and
the
slow,
better,
you know what I'm
the
saying?
better it's gonna be is how how long. If you rush it ain't gonna be as good.
No.
Take your
That's
time. it's gonna be
everything,
better.
man. Everything in
That's
life.
it. So it ain't rocket science. People have been doing this for thousands of years. Start off with good, clean ingredients. We get all our corn from Louisiana. We're the only distillery in Louisiana to do that.
Really?
It says on your bottles that you're a certified Louisiana product.
certified Louisiana. That's because over 80% of our ingredients come from Louisiana,
That's awesome.
and we're the
That's it.
only
That's
ones
awesome.
to have that distinction. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of rice vodkas and stuff that make use of Louisiana rice, but in terms of whiskey,
Right.
as far as I know, we're the only one that we go through the trouble to source the Louisiana corn and mill it here. That's another thing. We add a step. So we do everything here. We don't get anything pre-ground, pre-mixed. We get raw ingredients.
We've seen the blue barrels.
Yeah, we make it here. We grind it here. We bottle it here. We barrel it here. Everything comes straight from this building. It's a
what's
one-stop
awesome?
shop.
So it's really cool, and we've done it a couple of times. My very first time actually here was my birthday, almost
Right.
in February.
Yeah.
So
We have to get you out the house for a little while. I
yeah.
know where to go. I know where to
So
go.
we took your tour, and I was immediately impressed by several things. One, the history of this building, and the way you speak about it. You have a lot of passion about
Right,
Terrebonne
yeah.
Parish and the history of this place. Your operation is not something thrown together. You definitely, put some time and effort
Well
into
thought out.
your production of this place and the whiskey. So that's really, very refreshing to see somewhere down here, right here in downtown Houma. So that was impressive to me. And like I said, just talking to you and you talking about the family history and the whiskey history is pretty cool. And what a lot of people don't realize is not only do you make whiskey, you are big into the Terrebonne Parish, and that's kind of why we wanted to open up with you as our pilot. That tell me a little bit about yourself. You're in Leadership Terrebonne, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing that, and you have a lot of passion about what's going on in our parish.
I do, and as y'all do too, with the show and Mitch, of course, producing all this. But making whiskey for me is a conduit to do a couple things. So I always figure that you start off with the why, not the what.
Yep.
Right? So the why here at Bayou Terrebonne Distillers is to preserve a family tradition along with the culture and beauty of Bayou region.
Awesome.
How do we do that? We make damn good whiskey. And when we make money with that whiskey, we give back to our community. We celebrate the community with our products, with philanthropies. October 3rd, in fact, we're doing the White Boot Cleanup.
Awesome.
It's going to be, we're going to come here early in the morning, we're going to pick up trash, and everybody's going to rendezvous after that here, and we're going to have a drink to celebrate.
And we're going to take part in that. It's going to be a good time. Come out and help us
Yeah,
clean up.
another thing you did, I know during the early stages of the pandemic, you actually made hand sanitizer and donated to the parish, correct?
Right, that's correct. And we did that because we were asked to. We donated a lot of it. We sold some of it to the state and some businesses, but we donated to the libraries, the museums, a bunch of just public facilities.
Right.
We gave a lot of it away.
You helped
that's
out.
awesome.
You helped out the
but,
public.
That's what makes us so strong in the first place. Acadiana is our sense of community and watching each other's back
Right.
and taking care of each other. That's how we were raised. That's how y'all were raised.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people here were raised. And that's the glue that's going to keep Terrebonne together.
Absolutely.
And whatever I could do to help that, facilitate creating that bond or restoring that bond, I'll look forward to doing it.
Awesome. So tell me this: where do you see Terrebonne Parish in the next 10 years? Where would you like to see it go?
So, being a coastal community with the erosion and everything that we experienced, and we obviously had a very obvious problem here,
Right.
loss of land, and maybe there
Still.
maybe it's still right, but maybe there wouldn't even be anything left to salvage in 20 years, in 10 years, right?
Sure.
Well, thanks to our government, our taxpayers, and the whole community, we funded our own levee system here. And that's something that everybody in Terrebonne Parish should be proud of, because we're actually a model for the nation of a community taking charge of its own projects.
Yeah.
Terrebonne Parish was waiting in line for federal funds to build a levee for a long time. It never happened. And they decided, you know what, we're going to build it ourselves.
Yeah,
now,
they
if that's
took-
not Cajun grit, Cajun,
absolutely.
do it yourself.
Yeah, we're not
Take
gonna wait
that
on
into
you.
your own
Yeah.
hands and make it happen. If
And
I'm not
right.
waiting. I'm just going to make it happen because that's what has to happen.
A lot of people don't realize that that's what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that maybe don't take pride in Houma like we do, if they knew some of these things, they would.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do with the show, right, guys?
Right.
We're trying to bring those things to light. So
Right.
one thing, the original question, where do I see it in 10 years? Now that we have 10 years, because we built this levee system, I think it's about, redeveloping not only the inside, the physical structure of Louisiana, of Houma,
Yeah.
like rebuilding the marsh.
Yeah.
But it's also about rebuilding the culture and the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
And why?
Keeping up those traditions, like
Right,
you
yeah.
talked about, traditions of making whiskey and things like that.
Yeah, it's a
Family
it's a
traditions.
it's a place that's unlike any other place in the country. I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
And I think
And
it's
we're
something
super
works.
blessed to, been brought up and live here. The opportunities to be able to do all these great things is You know, people take it for granted, man.
You got a national park. If you got a boat, you got a national park in your backyard.
Man,
you can do whatever
catch
you
fish
want.
wherever you want.
Right.
You can
You
do
live off the
things.
land.
You can get out. You could be in the swamp or in the Gulf of Mexico in what 20, 30 minutes. Where else can you do
Absolutely.
that? We got a special place here, guys, and
Yeah.
now that we have something worth saving or something that can be saved, now that we have our levy systems, we all paid for that. We did our civic duty. Everybody who pays taxes did that. Now that we have that, now we can focus on rebuilding not only the fiscal land but the culture, and that's why Bayou Terrebonne Distillers wanted a place downtown. And why we're so lucky to secure this historic facility here.
Beautiful building.
So
Beautiful
you
building.
know, it's Bloom and Badgeron, almost 100 years old, built in 1921. With it's Bloom and Badgeron dried shrimp. It's now called Bloom Seafood, but the same people own it, and it's got to be one of the oldest family businesses still around here in Terrebonne.
Absolutely.
What better place to showcase a family business than Bloom and Badgeron?
I would definitely suggest anybody, if you haven't already, come to Bayou Terrebonne Distillers and take the tour with Noah. He'll go through everything with you. It's
Once this
a really cool thing that, all the history in this building. He has old newspaper clippings from, World War II and everything
Right.
up here, so which is cool.
Beautiful
What I would like
place.
to know is, all right, here's a question for you.
What is like your favorite Louisiana hometown dish growing up?
Ooh,
Like
food?
Yeah, like food, like grandma only cooked it this
Now,
way.
now, guys, y'all I gotta preface this with a little something. Okay, so
All right.
shout out to my Aunt Ann. I don't know if she'll ever see this because I don't think she knows what YouTube is, but I love that woman to death. Now, my Aunt Ann is from North Louisiana. Okay, she's married to my parent. All right, she's my aunt. She's my aunt by marriage.
All right.
And that is Grizz's mom.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Good
so
woman already. She had grills.
so she came down here with her family from North Louisiana because her daddy got a job in the oil field when she was in high school. Met my parent, and that was a wrap, right? But when she met his family, she didn't know what the hell she was getting into. They had people deheading shrimp. Her first hangout with my family was her deheading shrimp at their camp in Bayou Sally.
You gotta clear the ice chest out.
So for a girl from Shreveport, it's probably like a little culture shock.
All right. It's a little different.
Now, I'm gonna start talking about her, and I love her to death. I mean, I have so much respect for my Aunt Ann because what she did, and how she took the reins of my family. Because my grandma was the cook, and
Right.
she had Sunday dinner at her house with my grandpa. Well, she got sick and she died, and my Aunt Ann took over that role.
That tradition.
But she learned how to cook from her. So she is the best Cajun cook I know, but she ain't even Cajun.
Wow.
And to get back to what we're talking about, my favorite dish, which isn't even a Cajun dish, but it's Cajun enough because my Aunt Ann makes it, is broccoli and chicken soup. And that son of a gun is good.
Broccoli
on a
and
day.
chicken soup.
Ooh, yeah. We call it just broccoli soup, but it's got
Got a
chicken in
little
it.
hint of chicken in
The
it.
first time she made it without any meat in it, and she realized that my parent and her two boys wouldn't eat it because it had no meat in it.
All right, they needed some protein.
So now it's loaded down with chicken too.
I
Wow.
like it.
Broccoli and chicken soup. Now we were talking true Cajun. I'm gonna have to go with a seafood stew with some eggs dropped in.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Little
That's
potato
that's
salad
my
thrown in there.
that's my two answers right there.
Damn,
I like
damn.
it. Seafood stew.
That's good. So when you eating that, what do you like to drink with it? Matter of fact, what are you drinking tonight? Because I got the Manny fresh like Manny got, and you
what do
are a
you
little
got?
darker. I'm on a clear whiskey. Manny's on clear. You on dark.
So
what are
I-
you drinking tonight?
I guess I was feeling a little fancy tonight, and shout out to our buddies at the Southern Bayou Bourbon Society with these I don't even know how you pronounce them, Manny. These fancy cherries. Well, we had to go get them, and I
They're
needed
very nice chairs.
Very nice. It
Very
looks
nice.
presidential.
very
Maybe
nice.
Norm could do some research for us to figure out what the chairs are called.
Yeah, they come in a nice heavy jar. They're in some slimy stuff. It looks really expensive. It looks like escargot.
Right.
Maraschino cherries.
I like it.
So anyway, I got them because I want to make a old papa.
Old papa.
Now, you may ask what old papa is.
What is an old papa?
Let's ask.
So it's an old fashioned. Anybody likes an old fashioned, you need some
Yeah.
garlic to make
That's
that.
a good Louisiana
Yeah,
drink.
but we wanted to throw a little Cajun spin on it, and if you're gonna make an old fashioned, you use simple syrup, which is diluted sugar.
Okay.
So instead of that, we use diluted cane syrup. And that's why it's an old Paul, because
Wow.
that's how Paul would make it if he
I
was making
will
one.
say that I've had an open Paul here, and it's very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Very tasty. So,
do you-
you're using brown, you got a little brown in there.
Right.
It's not clear corn whiskey. So what is that you're drinking?
So, what y'all guys are having, is our flagship product, our first product, Contraband, our clear corn whiskey. We have that, but we also are barreling that for our bourbon, Good Earth, which will be out next year. So, in the meantime, we wanted to have an aged whiskey for people to enjoy too. We had a pretty happy little accident, or just good opportunity happened to us whenever Donner and Peltier closed down.
Right.
The new owners of the building, Gator Coolers. Shout out to Brian and Mitch.
Right, yeah, I see them all over. They got some
Yeah.
cool ice chests and stuff out
Well,
over
they
there.
had a little problem because Donner and Peltier left all their equipment, all their barrels,
A full warehouse.
a full warehouse of liquor, and by federal law, they couldn't take possession of that building until all that liquor was either destroyed and witnessed by a federal agent,
Wow.
or transferred to a bonded premises. And we're a bonded
wanna,
premises.
What better place to transfer it to?
So me, Nick,
Definitely
and
want to
Rodney,
destroy all that stuff.
So y'all
Oh, yeah.
bootlegged that one night. Y'all put
we bootlegged. Me, Nick, and Rodney went up there with 3 trailers on a Friday night under a pretty bright moon. And,
Nice.
we brought it all back. We bootlegged, and Great Grandma would have been proud.
Yeah, very
Oh,
good. So
traditional.
you're
That's
bottling it now, the LA1.
Yes.
And
that was
like
the
you
original
said,
name, right?
his original name.
So it's the original name is LA1. It's now called Last Batch LA1. It's
Okay.
called that because it's the last of it. Once it's done, once we empty
You
those
have no
barrels,
more.
it's it.
It's
And
done forever.
It's done forever. And what's special about that is that that's the first whiskey barrel in Louisiana since Prohibition.
That's pretty cool.
That's why it's
That's
called
really
LA1.
cool.
So you're gonna have that, and then once that's done, hopefully, not hopefully,
Good Earth will
definitely
be
down the road, Good Earth is gonna be here, and you're
Be
gonna
ready
have
to
your
barrel.
own bourbon, right?
And we're
Ready to
also
bottle, I mean.
we're also looking to do a rum in the meantime as well to correlate with cutting season with sugar cane.
Okay, cool.
So be on the lookout for that too.
Wow.
So we
Cool,
got
you heard it here first.
yeah, first time we talk about it, but be on the lookout for that. We wanted to wait until they were actually harvesting the crop so we can get that good fresh local juice to make
Right.
it. But once we get it, we're gonna have a little local rum for y'all.
That's gonna be
to
good.
enjoy
That's
as
gonna
well.
be real good.
Excited.
Yeah.
Big things coming down from Bayou Terrebonne Distillers.
Right.
We're very excited.
With bootlegging
Keep it hot.
whiskey and
Like we
putting
said.
somebody in between the barrels. Big things coming, man.
Right here downtown Houma.
Right on Main Street.
Right
Main
past the
Street.
old Fake Jewelers.
Yeah, right here in the
Main
old
Street.
Bloomin' Badger on dried shrimp facility, and I always ask everybody that comes here if it smells like dried shrimp because I can't smell it no more. I'm no-
I don't smell it.
No, I don't smell it. I smell good whiskey. That's what I smell.
But I tell you what, so again, thank you, Noah. Appreciate
Right.
you coming out here.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like we said before, thanks for giving up your building on Wednesdays.
My pleasure.
For us to
Being
hang
part of
out.
the team now, Noah's part of the production
Yeah.
team. He's going to help out with Mitch. He'll sit in if we're not here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, it's going to be awesome. We
Yeah,
can't, can't
we're
wait.
Very good addition to the Spilt Liquor production team, and we
Right.
appreciate it.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all letting me help.
Absolutely.
And I'm more than happy to give a venue for y'all to do what y'all do y'all thing because one, it's great entertainment, and two, I think it's gonna be good info for people to.
Informative.
Yeah, man.
It's
people
very
tune into.
informative. It's going to be informative
It's gonna
because
be
the people are
fun,
going to have
it's
to
gonna
sit
be
down.
informative, yeah.
We're going to kind of go interactive too. We're going to ask y'all, hey, we're having so and so on. If you have any questions, you could send questions in the comments, and then we could ask them to the people.
But
So,
Chad, why don't you? I mean, look, hey, why don't you tell them what's really going on? Tell them,
All
tell
right,
them who to
So who we
expect.
got next week, Chad?
all right, so here we go. Next week we're going to have former Senator Norby Chabert sitting right here. He's going to be sitting in between the barrels. So, if you have any questions for the former senator, hey, what you up to nowadays? You plan on doing anything else political? Whatever your questions are for him, send them in. Comment on the bottom of this, whatever.
Slide into the DMs.
Right, and if we ask you questions, you might win something. Who
Yeah,
knows,
yeah.
man?
Yeah,
might
we got a hat. We
might
have a
give
hat
away
with
a
the
hat.
best question.
Best question gets a Bayou Terrebonne Distillery hat.
Come
We
on.
ask you a question right here next week to Mr. Norby. Get a hat coming your way, so. Hey,
get
you
it
watch, you laugh, and you get free
And you
stuff.
can be part of it.
And look,
Right.
make sure you're drinking at home with us too, because we over here drinking.
Yes,
by ourselves.
yes.
We like to keep it light and
Yes.
conversational.
I'm about to have me
Enjoy
another
yourself.
Manny Fresh in a minute, actually.
And don't forget, you can get it here, downtown home. You can go to Canals, Rouse's, all over the place.
Marcel's down in Bayou Blue.
Right.
Got
also
some
be
good
looking
ground
out.
meat.
Yeah, that's right. Also be looking out for the LA1. The LA1s will be coming out first directly from the distillery. So
Okay.
Perfect.
we'll be
So they bottled up and they're almost ready to get.
we're getting close. We're almost done bottled. A lot
Okay.
to bottle. So once it's all bottled, we're going to go ahead and let everybody know, and you can come pick it up directly
You
from
can
here.
follow Noah and the Bayou Terrebonne Distillers on Facebook, Instagram, Bayou Terrebonne Distillery. They're there.
Right.
Follow us on our page. We'll be
Follow
on
it.
there,
We're
too.
gonna kick it up. We're gonna kick back in. What's Hitting Home is gonna start back up again. Kind of put some stuff out with that and what Noah's doing and what we doing with Between the Barrels. So
Right.
follow us, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all watching us, and Noah, thanks again. And
you, guys.
we out.
All right.